recapping the weekend here in southern Wisconsin. Got Bud down here. He came down for the weekend. His goal is to see some deer, and I think we accomplished that goal. What do you think?
Well, all except your 1.5 mile, 3 mile hike you brought me on, and we didn't see anything. Yeah, I saw a lot of deer.
Yeah. Friday morning, we went out. We hunted open creek bottom. Hey guys, it's November 2nd, first day of my vacation. Got 13 days off in a row. Sitting here on a nice crispy morning here. Saw one doe at about 7:20 or so this morning. She busted me, so that was awesome. But what else? We got Bud, who's down here for 3 days this weekend. So here's the setup for this morning. Bud is about 300 yards this way. Then we have a hill over here. And a hill over here. And this little chunk of woods that I am in connects everything. There's a trail right here. Then there is another trail that comes off the ridge that wraps around. Comes through here to this scrape. Then everything meets at these scrapes, obviously, and they are really worked. And by the way, that doe that came through at 7:20 got to right about there, then smelled me. She went back up the ridge. So that is the setup.
Alright guys, came down by Eric this weekend, do a little 3-day hunt with him. This morning hunt, day 1, November 2nd, and we kind of picked an easy spot. We wanted to try to do rattling and some calling. This is more open, so we figured it'd be a good spot to try that. And we're gonna hunt here till 9, go in, have breakfast, then go sit on a longer hunt in the afternoon. So 9 o'clock comes around. I saw, it looked like one doe on some private. That was earlier this morning. So 9 o'clock came around, climbed down my tree. See, I was only sitting up 2 sticks. It's a real small tree and kind of stayed lower. Climbed down my tree, got my pack down, went up, grabbed my stand. I come down and I look across the road in this field here, and there's a nice freaking buck running across the field. Of course, get yourself down, and that's when the freaking deer move. I can hear him grunting over there, running through the field. As you can see, I got my stand down, my bow's down, freaking had stuff packed away. I was ready to move out. So I'm sitting there watching them, and I peek up. And a little bit farther down, right close to the road, there's another little buck. And they were just meandering around in there for about 5 minutes. So I got to my pack, grabbed my grunt call, let out a couple grunts. I got their attention, but they didn't come around. But there's a road between me and there. And there's been cars driving up and down it, so it was hard to pull them across that road. Definitely got their attention. I mean, they say the rut, you never know when something's going to happen. We figured this is going to be more of an early spot, because you got crop field over there, and they come from there and they bed behind me. But you never know when something's going to happen. But I mean, I never sat here, I've never even been here. Eric just told me where to go, and I'm already seeing deer, so it's real nice to see. Hopefully we got some action pack coming in the next 2.5 days. Talk to you later. Well, I saw the one, I don't know if it was a doe or a buck. It was a single deer. It was on private. Saw that one early morning. Then as I was tearing down my stand is when I saw that 2 other bucks. Well, I know one was probably at least a 130, 140 class. And then a couple minutes later, he had a little buck trailing behind him. Tried grunting, did a snort wheeze, couldn't get him to pull across the road while I was sitting on the ground. They ran off up into that ridge line. Then we came down and we saw that it looked like a hot dough coming out of the corn, and she was headed right to him too.
Yep.
So yeah, first morning down here, and I saw a deer. I saw more bucks that morning than I have my entire bow hunting career up north. So
anyway, Friday night, Eric was gonna take Bud for a little adventure, and it turned out to be an adventure. So Bud and I are hiking to our afternoon spot. Call this one the cliffside because we're hiking up to a cliff that funnels the deer. Taking our first break here because it's about a 400 foot elevation game here. So, hey folks, Bud and I just got to the spot. Figured out Eric's really good at using the XOP bracket. Only took us like an hour to hang the set. But anyway, sign coming in here with looking fantastic. By the stand, it looks pretty good too. We got a couple scrapes down there. I'll go over the setup with you guys. And Bud is getting mayo all over himself. Wow, here's the setup, folks. Bud is eating a huge sub sandwich here in the stand. He's the monster combo. Okay. It's ham, salami, pepperoni, and turkey. He apparently thinks hunting is vacation and he can eat whatever he wants in the stand. Yeah. So, here's the setup. We got doe bedding down here. Then on the other end, of course, we got doe bedding as well. Then there is a trail that shoots down through here, through the thermal tunnel. Like that. Then we got a couple of scrapes. One right there. And one right below my stand. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but believe me, it's down there. And that is the setup. And Saturday morning we had some action.
you dropped me off at my spot.
Yep, Bud was hunting a little creek bottom. It's just kind of a transition property between the ridges and whatnot. And yeah, Bud saw some action.
That was the first buck I drew on in about 3 years. It wasn't that big, but it was cool because you had that one 3-point side, and then you had that other side that kind of came down all funky. I told Eric I wasn't going to shoot a small buck, but I don't know, that one was kind of cool looking. But I kind of in a real weird angle of my shooting. My form wasn't that good. But I know. I got excited. I messed that shot up. It could have been worse though. I could have made him injured, but yeah, that was the buck I just filmed on that hillside going across. Well, Eric said he was gonna put me on deer. I didn't execute on that one. Oh, bummer. Well, that was cool. It's still early. What time is it? 7:45. It's only been light out for 40 minutes. Not even 30 minutes. Oh well. It happens. Alright guys. So now that I got arrows flying and all that kind of good stuff, I'm about to show you the setup. So what we got going on here. So that's the big hillside where that buck came down from. And I'm assuming he's just cruising looking for does. Yeah, you can see we got a creek. We got some rubs in there right where I shot at that buck. Got a scrape down here. We got a main trail that comes through here, plus they're coming from across the creek. Plus I got another secondary trail right behind me that comes from across the road. But yeah, just your standard little river bottom kind of cruising area. You know, opens up way over there too. I'm hearing some turkeys over there. But yeah, obviously there's deer here. I saw the one buck. I heard another deer, or numerous deer, before shooting like this morning after I got set up. And when Eric dropped me off, he said that a buck and two does were running towards me across the road. So that could have been them. But yeah, nice little river bottom here. And that's the setup. So hopefully another one comes through. I can redeem myself later.
Yeah, I had that little buck work the ridge across the creek from me. Went from left to right, then back right to left, and then you end up coming down across the creek. Came into about 20 yards to me. Took the shot, didn't execute. My fault. Deer set up perfect. He was broadside to me. But that's just me. That was the second buck I ever drew on with my bow. Nerves got a little bit. Rushed the shot a little bit. I could tell the buck got nervous when he saw me draw.
Yeah.
And he tensed up, and I made a quick shot, and I didn't settle in on the pin.
And another thing that made the situation tough, it was very, very calm. And that's what happened with my buck earlier this year too. It was so calm, I was afraid of the draw cycle and whatnot, and just a little bit of wind helps. So. Yeah. Hey guys, just got to the afternoon spot. Just gonna go through this setup real quick because I'm putting the rain gear away because we got rain moving in. So the setups, we're just sitting on a big ridge right here, and I have a cut right around here, and there's a trail that cruises on the top third. Then up top here, there's those pines over here. There's actually a logging road that runs along the pines. Then there is a scrape right about here or so. That's been worked pretty fresh, and there's a scrape line going along those pines. So that's the setup. Saturday night was quite the show. Ended up seeing 5 does right around 2:30, and I was set up right around 1:30, I want to say. One of the does was hot. There was a couple bucks chasing her. Heard some fighting towards the cornfield after she went through about 15 minutes later. Yeah, then Bud's activity picked up a little bit later.
Well, my activity started too early.
Yeah, that too.
I sat up at my spot. I was hunting the thermal tunnel right on top of a ridge. I had bedding to the south of me that we were predicting, because right to the south of me was private land, we can't scout it. But just from the looks of it, aerial maps, it's right on a point. It's super thick when you get right on the edge of the public and private. And I'm sitting there, I'm setting up my stand, I'm setting up my 4th stick. I look off right on the edge of the private, and there's a freaking doe staring at me as I'm up in the tree. That's the 2nd time this year that I've had this happen to me. This is the 1st year I've been doing the hang-on hunt, being mobile. And it's the 2nd time a doe has come out while I'm setting up. This one here, last one I stood there, but this time I'm like, you know, I'm being aggressive. It's the rut. I got to get in the tree. I can't be messing around with a doe. So I decided let's try to mess around with her. So I bleated at her. She looks at me. Doesn't have a care in the world. So I climb all the way down my sticks. I get on the ground back where my bow is. I get an arrow cocked. All this is happening as she's 30 yards from me. So I'm sitting there, I'm ready, and waiting, trying to see what's coming out after her. But she ends up finally getting spooked, and she runs off, and she skirts the edge of me. But then right at 5 o'clock, you're starting to get to that gray hour. Look over my shoulder, I see 2 more does, the exact same spot that it was this morning. Took the same trail, skirted to the north of me in the pines. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, all right, deer moving. 5 minutes later, I look over, and farther down on the public, coming around the ridge line, I got another doe coming. All right, this doe ends up taking a different track. She ends up coming all the way to 8 yards to me, right below my stand. And I kind of moved just a little bit, and she busts me, and she goes running off. About 6 o'clock, I ended up seeing another deer, right where I saw that doe. And I couldn't see it, it was about 100 yards away, but its head was down to the ground, so I'm thinking it has to be a buck, Following that doe, it's got to be on, it must have been a hot doe if he was tailing her that tight. So I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna mess around. I literally barely got out of my seat like this, and that buck picked me off in that tree. I couldn't believe how he did it, but he did. But he ends up skirting me down the side of the ridge about 60 yards.
And what else? I got my dad coming down tomorrow morning, and yeah, we'll keep on bringing you coverage of the rut here in southern Wisconsin. Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Yeah, I had fun. Thanks for having me, Eric.
Yeah.
Thanks for the venison tacos.
Yep. Yeah, if you guys like what we're producing, subscribe to our channel. We'll be doing things throughout the rest of the year. I mean, we got the rest of the rut coming. Got
dun deer in 2 weeks.
Yep. Bud's gonna be hunting with Andy, I believe.
I got one little chunk up in northern Wisconsin. I'll do opening weekend, and then I'll be with Andy the 2nd weekend.
Okay.
Thanksgiving weekend, that'll be a 4-day hunt.
Yep. Then I'll be going back to Green Bay and doing a little hunt with my dad opening weekend. Haven't done that for a long time, so looking forward to that. And yeah, then we got ice fishing. So got a lot of things to look forward to. So talk to you guys later.